The 7 levels of fighter jets. Explained. One of these levels can defeat every other level combined, but only 187 of them were ever built, and 33 have already crashed. Level 1. The Propeller Fighter. This is kinetic brute force. You are 400 miles per hour of canvas, aluminum, and gunpowder with zero electronic warfare capability. Your radar is your eyeball. Your countermeasure is a hard turn. Your survival depends on altitude, speed, and whether your engine doesn't catch fire. In World War II, the P-51 Mustang had a kill-to-loss ratio of 19-1. Not because it was faster than German fighters, it wasn't. Not because it had better guns, it didn't. Because it had range. 1,650 miles. Every other Allied fighter ran out of fuel over France and turned back. The P-51 could escort bombers all the way to Berlin and still dogfight on the way home. If you're flying a propeller fighter in 2026, you're not air defense. You're a training target for surface-to-air missiles that cost less than your aircraft. August 1944. Captain George Preddy, 352nd Fighter Group, flying escort over Germany. 6 Luftwaffe Bf 109s bounce his formation. Preddy breaks right, pulls 7 Gs, and in the next 8 minutes shoots down all 6. Not because he outflew them, because when they ran out of ammunition and fuel, he still had both. That's level 1. Level 2. The Jet Interceptor. This is the sound barrier. You are Mach 1.2 with afterburners that drink 300 gallons of fuel per minute. You don't dogfight anymore, you intercept. You climb to 50,000 feet, fire missiles at bombers you can't see with your eyes, then land before your fuel tanks hit zero. Mission duration, 12 minutes. The MiG-15, introduced in 1949, had a thrust-to-weight ratio that propeller fighters couldn't match. In Korea, American F-86 Sabres fought MiG-15s in the world's first jet versus jet war. The F-86 had a 10-to-1 kill ratio not because it was faster, but because American pilots had G-suits and the Soviets didn't. At 6 Gs, Soviet pilots blacked out. American pilots kept turning. You have no radar. You have no missiles. You have 6.50 caliber machine guns and 18 seconds of ammunition. If you miss your first pass, the bomber you're intercepting drops its payload anyway. Korea, 1953. Major James Jabara becomes the first jet ace in history. He shoots down his 5th MiG-15 over the Yalu River at 40,000 feet. Both aircraft supersonic in a dive. His gun camera footage shows the MiG disintegrating, but Jabara's F-86 is on fire. He ejects at 600 miles per hour. The North Koreans capture him 3 days later. That's level 2. Level 3. The missile platform. This is beyond visual range lethality. You don't see your enemy anymore. You are 60 miles away when you fire. You are Mach 2.5 with a radar that tracks 24 targets simultaneously and air-to-air missiles that can pull 40 Gs. The dogfight is dead. The war is now decided by who locks first. But here's the problem. Level 3 doctrine killed 500 American pilots in Vietnam. Why? Because the Air Force assumed missiles were perfect. The Ford Phantom was designed without a gun, just missiles. In 1965, the Phantom's missile hit rate was 8%. Not 8 out of 10, 8%. When North Vietnamese MiG-17's propeller-era jets got inside missile range, American pilots had no guns to fight back. They died in aircraft that cost $18 million because doctrine said the dogfight was obsolete. The AIM-7 Sparrow missile had a failure rate so catastrophic that in 1968, the Navy removed it from inventory mid-war. Pilots called it the Great White Hope because hoping was all you could do. The Air Force didn't admit the missile's failure rate until 1973. By then, 382 American jets had been shot down. If your missile fails, you're flying a $30 million aircraft with no gun against a $2 million MiG with a cannon. You lose. September 1972. Navy Lieutenant Randy Cunningham is flying in 4 Phantom over North Vietnam. A MiG-17, 20 years older. Half the speed gets on his tail. Cunningham's radar can't lock at close range. His missiles won't fire. The MiG pilot, Colonel Nguyen Toon, has 13 kills. Cunningham has 2 options: eject or dogfight with no gun. He chooses option 3. He goes vertical, full afterburner. The 4 climbs at 45,000 feet per minute. The MiG-17 can't follow. Cunningham inverts at the top, comes down behind Toon, and fires a sidewinder at 300 feet. Toon ejects. Cunningham becomes the first American ace of the Vietnam War by refusing to fight the way his aircraft was designed. That's level 3. Level 4. The multi-role superiority fighter. This is air dominance. You are Mach 2.0 with a 20mm cannon, radar-guided missiles, heat-seeking missiles, bombs, and the ability to do all of it in the same sortie. You can win the dogfight, intercept the bomber, destroy the radar site, and fly home with fuel to spare. You don't specialize anymore. You dominate. The 15 Eagle has 104 kills and 0 losses in air-to-air combat. Not 104-1, 104-0. It entered service in 1976. In 50 years of combat Israel, Saudi Arabia, the United States, it has never been shot down by an enemy aircraft. Not once. Not in Desert Storm. Not in Syria. Not over Yemen. You cost $110 million per aircraft. You require 40 hours of maintenance for every hour of flight. Your radar signature is so large that a Russian S-400 battery can track you from 250 miles away. You win every dogfight, but you never make it to the dogfight because the surface-to-air missile kills you first. Iraq, 1991. Captain Steve Tate is flying in 15C on combat air patrol over Baghdad. His radar warning receiver screams a MiG-29 has locked him. Tate's wingman calls, defending. He's turning to break the lock. But Tate stays cold. He's tracking 2 Iraqi Mirage F-1s at 30 miles. The MiG-29 fires. Tate doesn't react. He waits. At 15 miles, he fires an AIM-7 at the first Mirage. At 12 miles, he fires at the second. The MiG-29's missile misses by 200 feet. Both Mirages explode. Tate's wingman kills the MiG. In 90 seconds, 3 Iraqi jets are gone. 0 American losses. That's level 4. Level 5. The stealth air superiority fighter. This is invisibility. You are Mach 2.25 with a radar cross-section the size of a marble. You don't appear on radar until you're 20 miles away. By then, you've already fired. You don't dogfight because the enemy doesn't know you're there until his wingman explodes. But here's the problem. Level 5 only exists in one country. The F-22 Raptor. 187 aircraft. Production ended in 2011. Congress canceled the program because each jet cost $350 million, and the Air Force couldn't explain who the enemy was. Russia's stealth fighter, the Su-57, has 10 production models. China's J-20 has approximately 200, but neither has seen combat. The F-22 has a training accident rate of 17%. 33 have crashed. 2 pilots have died. Which means the most advanced air superiority fighter ever built is now a wasting asset. Every time one crashes, there is no replacement. In 2006, during a red flag exercise in Alaska, F-22s achieved a simulated kill ratio of 144-1 against 15s and F-16s. Not because the F-22 is faster, it's not. Not because it has better missiles, it doesn't. Because it fires first. The 15 pilot's radar warning receiver never goes off. He never knows he's dead. You are subsonic when your weapons bay is open. You cannot carry external fuel tanks without destroying your stealth. Your combat radius is 410 miles less than in 15. If the enemy forces you into a dogfight, Your thrust vectoring gives you an advantage for exactly 11 seconds before you run out of energy. Then you're a $350 million target. Syria, 2018. Israeli F-35s. Level 5's export cousin penetrate Syrian airspace. Russian S-400 batteries are active. Syrian air defense radar is scanning. The F-35s drop precision-guided bombs on Iranian weapons depots and fly home. Syria claims they shot down 7 jets. Israel releases gun camera footage, 0 losses. Russia's Ministry of Defense says nothing. That's Level 5. Level 6. The networked multi-role stealth fighter. This is distributed lethality. You are not just a fighter. You are a node in a network. Your radar doesn't just track targets for you. It tracks targets for every friendly aircraft, ship, and ground unit within 300 miles. You are subsonic, but you don't need speed because you're firing missiles that someone else is guiding. You are carrying fewer weapons than Level 4, but you're directing 40 aircraft that are carrying more. The F-35 can detect a radar emission, triangulate its location, classify the threat, and share that data with an Aegis destroyer 200 miles away in under 3 seconds. The destroyer fires a cruise missile. The radar site explodes. The F-35 never fires a shot. This is called sensor fusion. The aircraft doesn't just fight, it makes everything else fight better. You cost $80 million per aircraft and $30,000 per flight hour. Your stealth coating degrades in humidity. Your software requires 24 million lines of code, and every update breaks something else. You've been in development for 23 years, and you're still not fully operational. But you are the most produced 5th-generation fighter in history. Over 1,000 delivered. The F-22 was the king. The F-35 is the empire. Red Sea, 2024. A Houthi rebel radar site locks onto a U.S. Navy destroyer. The destroyer's systems detect the lock but can't locate the emitter. It's mobile, hidden in the mountains of Yemen. An F-35 120 miles away picks up the radar emission, identifies it as a Chinese-made SLC-2 system, calculates the coordinates, and transmits them to the destroyer. The destroyer fires a Tomahawk missile. The radar site is destroyed in 4 minutes. The F-35 never entered Yemeni airspace. That's Level 6. Level 7. The Autonomous Air Dominance System. This is post-pilot warfare. You are Mach 3+, with no cockpit, no life support, no ejection seat. You can pull 15 Gs because there's no human to black out. You are controlled by an AI that processes threat data faster than any pilot can react. You cost $25 million, 1/3 the price of an F-35, because you're designed to be attritable. You're not supposed to survive. You're supposed to win. But here's the problem. Level 7 doesn't exist yet. Not operationally. The U.S. Air Force's Collaborative Combat Aircraft program won't field operational drones until 2028. China's GJ-11 stealth drone has flown but hasn't fired a weapon in combat. Russia's 70 Okhotnik crashed during testing in 2023. Which means the future of air combat is being designed right now, and nobody knows if it works. In March 2024, an AI-controlled F-16 defeated a human-piloted F-16 in simulated dogfighting trials 5 times in a row. The AI won, not because it was faster, but because it made decisions in milliseconds that would take a human pilot 2 seconds. In air combat, 2 seconds is death. If the AI misidentifies a target, it could shoot down a civilian airliner before a human operator can override the command. If the enemy hacks the data link, your $25 million drone becomes their weapon. And if the AI decides the most efficient way to win is to ram the target, there's no pilot to say no. So what does this hierarchy tell us? That air superiority isn't about speed anymore. It's not about maneuverability. It's about decision speed. The F-22 can supercruise at Mach 1.8. The F-35 can network 50 aircraft into one kill chain. Level 7 will make decisions faster than any human can process. Here's why that matters. In October 2024, the U.S. Air Force announced that future fighter squadrons will be 5 manned aircraft and 20 autonomous drones. The human pilots won't dogfight. They'll command the machines that dogfight. The pilot becomes the quarterback. The drones become the linebackers, which means the question isn't, what is the ultimate fighter jet? The question is, when the algorithm decides who lives and who dies at Mach 3, who do you hold accountable when it kills the wrong target? This is the echelon. Briefing concluded.